Alright, I'm going to give my bit on basic overclocking and a little bit of what's really in my gaming rig. And these are requests that have been lingering for quite a while, and I wanted to get them out of the way. So as requested, first part's going to be going over some of the parts of my gaming rig, and then second part will be on overclocking. So enjoy. Alright, so really here is my computer monitor here, and let's go over it real quick. We have temperature right here, fan speed right here, and this is not in use, which is basically the speakers control or audio control to the card. So like I said, this is not connected, and that's why it has a funky number. Alright, basically you can change the colors by pushing this button here. Can really do whatever color you want, or you can have it constantly change. And this knob right here basically is going to, if you can see right here, it says 1 right there. If I change it, it goes to 2, 3, and 4. Now I have a lot of 120 millimeter fans on here, and they're pretty much steady at 900, whereas I don't remember which is the other fan that I have that is at the higher RPMs here. I believe it's my memory spot fan that I'm controlling with this. And how I could control the speed is simply increase or decrease. Temperatures with this knob right here, same principle. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's just basic monitoring. Now, one of the questions was, how do you connect some of these things? Well, let me go over that real quick. The temperature, at least, you have 4 temperatures as shown there, and the little ribbons come out. And I've really hidden everything because I don't like a lot of wires, but if you can see right here, because I've fished them up through the case and they come down here, here's one of them right here. You can kind of see it goes to the memory over there. Now that's on the outside. It's not going to be as accurate a reading, but when I do overclock the memory, that outer reading does get hot sometimes, and that's why I primarily have that spot fan there to cool it off. I have back there another temperature going that way, basically to try to see how hot it is at the top of the case. Alright, this is really my ambient temperature for outside the room. This is fished outside through a modification I've made to the side of the case for this fan, so that will read the ambient temperature outside my case. Alright, here's another temperature sensor here, and I've got that going into really the heat sink to the side memory off of my video card, and that's for when I overclock it. How these are connected, you can see there's like a ribbon, and it comes with adhesive tape that you would tape this ribbon on, and that's how it would get applied to anywhere you choose to want to read a temperature. As far as the fan controls, we'll go over that next. If you can see that's how we connect the fans to that control center there. And again, I fished the wires to try to keep them out of plain sight, and really you get 4 fan control. Everything's 444 on the system except for the audio. But anyway, you would get 4 of those female outlets there that you plug in the power of your fan, and you would get control from the system there. So that's what the actual connection would be, and you get 4 of those. And it's really how you want to fish the wire throughout your system and where you want to get the fans. I mean, I've got 2 fans up top, another one here. You know, the spot fans. I have hard drive coolers, so it's got a lot of fans, and I obviously don't have enough controls for all of them. Back here, I had a question about, well, what is CrossFire? CrossFire is 2 video cards. You can see there's 1 and there's 2. And your motherboard has to be compatible. Both NVIDIA and ATI make their versions of basically splitting the load of the GPUs. And I believe NVIDIA has a single ribbon, which is they call the SLI bridge, and ATI has 2 ribbons for their CrossFire ribbons there. So you can see 1 and 2 ribbons that go to each card. Even having a compatible motherboard, you're going to need to go into your Catalyst Control Center and actually enable CrossFire for it to function, or it will not. And really, if I do have a request, I can go over that Catalyst Center and really on how you enable CrossFire, but it's really quite simple. It's got a checkbox. You check it, it gives you a couple warnings. It takes maybe I guess a few seconds. The screen might blink a few times, and then your CrossFire is ready to go. Now the cooling system, which was another thing that I had there, this is also a really basic liquid cooling system here. You can see that goes into the block. If you're too scared really to take off your existing heat sinks, it's really not that difficult to do. There really are a lot of internet tutorials out there on how you can basically apply these CPU blocks on these liquid cooling kits, and really how to clean the existing thermal paste off of the CPU. And thermal paste, for those of you who don't know, you have a paste, or a grease if you will, in between the fan on top or the heat sink on top of your CPU. That goes for Macs, PCs, whatever. Just about any cooling device that is attached to a CPU, the front side bus block, GPUs, what you name it, is going to have some sort of thermal paste in between the actual cooling device and the unit being cooled. Alright, I went ahead and got out the 2 thermal pastes that I have used before. This one right here, the white one, is really just generic, has a different drying time, and I don't really recommend any generics. My favorite brand is Arctic Silver. I can see their Arctic Silver 5. You can get it in any really computer store, and you take this cap off and basically put a very tiny amount on top of the CPU. I use a razor blade to spread it out evenly, and then apply it the actual cooling block, in this case the liquid cooling CPU block right there. That is really all I am liquid cooling in this system. You can put into the entire liquid cooling system, you can attach GPU coolers, so on and so forth. I think I have enough fans. I mean, it's kind of tacky where I use the CPU fan, but that was for the Intel chip. But I do sometimes overclock these cards, and part of the reason I drive cool air into the system and try to get as much as possible. One thing I love about the Silverstone case right there is this huge intake fan that gets cool air from outside. So the temperatures on my video cards are really stable and well within range, even when overclocking. Back here, I've already showed this before in the video, is really the radiator, and here's the pump. So really a real simple loop for liquid cooling. Really the hot water is going to go into the radiator, get cooled off, and go through the whole loop. There's your reservoir, and every system, this is a Swift-Tech system, and really you don't really lose too much water. I mean, you're talking months and months and months and months, but I like to put it here. I can see through the case and always monitor the level of the coolant within the system. So really, I'm going to go into technicalities of overclocking, and really the reasons of why I have all this extra cooling in my PC here.